Welcome everybody to Highly Questionable Marketing, and I think this is the first episode we're going to do about some highly questionable marketing, actually, because we saw this ad from Rollworks, right? 10 hacks to drive pipeline in a crunch. And what I love, and it's still there, first comment, okay, it sounds like they will hack the pipeline. Shouldn't someone have an English speaker check the spelling on these? So Rollworks coming in with the fire ad, and I just sit there and I roll my eyes, honestly. We're going to dive into this, but here's the biggest thing I hate about this shit. It's not that marketers are reading
Jay
this.
printed it out, first of all. He printed it out on paper.
And I don't print much out. That's how much, because I'm going to rip it out at the end. But here's what's happening. Marketers aren't reading this, I hope, because marketers know better. But you know who is? The freaking CEO and the CMO. They're printing this shit out and they're emailing it to their marketing team saying, are we doing these? And that's the biggest problem. And it assumes, kind of like that comment, that you're just going to hack pipeline. Just getting to growth is simply hacking your way through it. And if you're in a crunch, this shit ain't going to do nothing for you. Growth isn't that easy. Are we crazy? I'm just going to stop there before we dive in and see if there's any other hot takes really quick on this.
I agree some of this advice is basic, but there are actually a few items in here that we were not doing that I implemented in the last year that actually worked. So yes, it's basic. I think a lot of people assume that marketing teams are operating above and beyond. There are some of here that have been brought to me multiple times by CEOs and they never work. But I didn't roll my eyes as much here. So
I'm allergic. I'm Jurgen, and I'm allergic to hacks. I'm very allergic to quick hacks, which is what this is. But it's actually not so much a diss to Rollworks or anybody putting this together. This happens, right? People are forced to put together some content. I get it. It's okay. But if you approach marketing with a hack mentality, then you aren't going to win in the long term. So whenever I see shit like this, I'm just like, well, that's definitely not for me because this is not how I approach marketing. But let's rip through them anyway. There are 10 of them, right? 10 quick hacks, Jay?
10? First of all, that's a lot of quick hacks. To implement all of this would definitely take longer than a quarter. So, I don't know.
And we're going to go through this. And I thought this thing was really interesting because then there's random vendor calls and shit. And it's did they pay you to write this too?
Maybe I should
get on that. In
all
cahoots together? What the hell's going on? And I know Jurgen's going to love the first one because lo and behold, who do they call out in hack number 1? Drift, right?
Gosh.
So Jurgen's already
All right, should we give a second for him to fanboy it? No, I'm just kidding. All right, Jay, you're reading the first one. Read it.
All right, hack 1. Schedule now option on a demo request form using a vendor like Drift to decrease friction and increase conversion rates by 25%. So I'm going to go really quick. Go try the Drift demo conversion point. It is terrible. It is absolutely worse than a form. And I get what they're saying, but schedule now, I hope they're doing, why don't you just get a demo and then have a calendar after that somebody can schedule? Changing a button isn't going to fix this.
Well, okay, so I took this as adding a scheduler versus going and clicking the button and then having a BDR reach out to you. So that was my takeaway from this. And I will say that works. Okay. We actually increased pipeline considerably this year, more connection points with people. I know you guys are both laughing, but one of the main things that worked was us putting a scheduler where somebody could automatically schedule time and cutting out the BDR. This actually worked for us and increased pipeline. So I give this one a Liz approved, and we use Chili Piper. Don't use Drift. Drift is terrible.
Okay, so let me just be very clear though. I 100% agree with that flow, right? I agree with that. You should have a calendar after demo to allow people to book. But the demo flow through Drift is trash, number 1. So be very careful.
Chili Piper all
and
the way.
2, the way I read this, okay, that's fine. I just want to be very clear. I agree in the schedule demo concept.
Hold on, guys. Have you guys not driven a single demo request through a Drift bot? Have you guys not seen that actually work?
So I did a technical evaluation this year, and Drift lost out by functionality. It didn't connect to our Salesforce in the right way. The user friendliness wasn't at the same level, and it was more expensive than Chili Piper. That was my.
I honestly encourage you to try the Drift bot.
I might be the only one on
You're
this
both.
call, but I'm certainly not the only person out there who's had success driving meetings with the Drift chatbot. But look, the thing for me here is like this is going to be too long if we go like super deep. So just real quick,
Yes.
options, right? Like it's not a fucking hack. It's just common sense. Give people options when they are ready to fucking engage. Yes, thank you very much. Move on to the next
I
one.
mean,
I'll read
we
this,
were not
okay?
doing this before, so I feel like it can't be that obvious. But okay. Let's move on to the second one. All right, Jurgen, you are
Hack,
reading the second one.
hack two. Add a checkbox for visitors to opt into secondary offers on content forms. Here's where it gets interesting. Like a newsletter subscription, okay, or a demo request. Yeah, okay, so let me go first. So you're gonna like have somebody do something and then just like throw in a checkbox for a demo request. Fake intent? Why would you even want to do that? Makes no sense. I haven't even done that. I'm totally fine with an extra checkbox for some more content so you can, nurture people or whatever. But an extra checkbox for a demo request? Oh, by the way, I'll take a demo too. Is that
Yeah.
serious?
I mean, my experience with this personally is that every single item you add to a form reduces conversions, and you've got to play with that. And if somebody's converting on content, like there's a scheduled demo form at the right hand corner. Like most people aren't dumb, they know how to request sales information. So if they're requesting an asset, adding a box ain't gonna do anything. So now you do need to add an extra box down there for GDPR, but for most people, adding another box isn't going
We're
to
doing
make them
growth
convert
hacks,
more.
not growth loss.
Yeah, right? This is like a
Liz.
growth loss suggestion. Like, is that okay?
All right. I'm aligned on that. I think we can let's just tackle like hack 3. I don't have anything new
All right,
there,
denied.
honestly.
Hack 2 was denied. Okay, now hack 3. This one's fine. Okay. Increase email campaign response volume by sending your known database to ungated content assets. Simply mark click or PDF viewers as responded. Oh gosh, this is I love. Somebody else go first because I have a super operational view on this.
What's the
What
intention
is
here?
it?
What is the intention? Are
So
you just?
Okay, you guys.
Did you want me to
have
go
looked
Liz
at-
didn't want to talk, but now she wants to talk.
Somebody else talk then. All right, somebody else talk, and then I'll go second. I can't help
Let me
myself.
just say this: like, what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to move an internal metric to make yourself look good? Or are you actually
Yeah.
trying to improve results? Like, that's insane. Like, sure, send
Yeah,
more
I-
content to more people and make it ungated. Absolutely. But to do it with the intention of getting more, like, leads? So, like, this is crazy. That's where it got crazy for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jurgen. Like what is this 2010? We're sending people to gated content still from email marketing. Like, what the? What? Not even. And how is this a quick pipeline hack? Oh, we sent some ungated assets. Let's watch that pipeline. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. So I'll just.
I mean,
leave it
I will
there.
fully agree that a content download will not increase pipeline. However, we do this and we do it to track behavioral scoring adjustments. And to be honest, it actually has worked for us, but it's not a quick pipeline hack. It's going to be something where when you nurture somebody and you watch them, it's going to be like 6 to 12 months before you see any pipeline turn from this. And it probably won't, period. I go back and forth whether we remove this because it's super annoying to have to click a button after you already clicked a button in the email. Like, how annoying. But at the same time, you do get some good data out of who's actually consuming your content. So I give this a so-so, but it's not going to hack your pipeline. I'm sorry. You got bigger fish to fry.
Liz is ranking them. So
Denied.
that's fun. So
Give
let's
it a
dive
denied
hack 4.
sticker. All right.
Denied. Audit close loss opportunities for low hanging fruit. Bad timing. Went dark. Do special quick win offers. Do gift cards. Use Sendoso. I guess it's just a vendor.
Vendor
And you know what's
plug.
funny? You know what they're really talking about? Here's what marketers are doing. They're taking hack 3 and they're saying, hey, let's send that non-gated asset to our closed loss deals. And then let's use Rollworks to run display ads. Look, I get it, but this isn't a marketing thing. If you want to, have sales reach out to win dark deals for like a last minute crunch, that makes sense. But there ain't no quick marketing hack here you're going to pull off that's going to, I don't know what we're talking about here on this one.
All right. In defense of whoever wrote that, right? What's the number one reason for closed lost? Indecision, right? So the idea of re-engaging people, yeah, like theoretically, philosophically makes sense. To think of that as a hack though, and to use this kind of tactic, that's not going to do it for me. But there
Yes.
is
So
something to
It's also one of those really
going back.
annoying things that come up every quarter, anyways, right? We've all been in marketing every damn quarter. Well, let's just do a closed
close
loss
loss campaign.
campaign.
You get the
Like,
email. At every company, I have gotten an email about this exact scenario. And I have run this campaign at 3 companies at this point, and it has never worked. Now, like 100% nurture for the long game your closed loss. Send them great pieces of content. Continue to try to convince them. But I will say that if they go through a full process, they engage a sales rep, they get a technical demo, and they decide not you, like, the answer is not you, friend. Like, just move on. You're better off moving on than re-engaging. It almost never has created, I mean, if maybe incrementally you get the random op associated with this, but it is not going to close a gap last minute. Just
I
not in my
believe
experience.
I hear you. I believe the last time I ran this, and you're right, like we all get that. Hey, we should. You know what we should do? It's like brilliant original idea. But last time I ran this, I think I
yeah.
had a 1% success rate in terms of re-engaging the buyer, with it ultimately not closing.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel you. All right, Jorgen, you're next. You're number 5.
Oh man, here we go. Here we go. Let me find it because I got like too much stuff going on the computer. Okay, here we go. You guys ready?
Liz is having too much fun, though. I do want to say that she is
I love
clearly
this stuff.
enjoying
Like,
this.
take me
Here
to
we
the
go.
operational. The
So,
land of the operational is my game.
Hack 5, facing budget cuts. Score and prioritize your existing target account list to discover which accounts are most similar to your best customers today and allocate more resources, budget and sellers, towards this group. Top tier accounts have 2.5x higher propensity to close than the rest. Is it a shocker that, looking at
Rollworks? They
I
should just
wasn't going to
add a
go
little
quite
whisper
yet.
after, and use Rollworks to do this. You know?
I wasn't gonna go there quite yet because I wasn't gonna like this, but like I mean, yeah, where do we go with this, right? Like, are we not
here, let me,
looking at our ICP and looking at our pipeline and constantly evaluating though anyway? Like how, how is it a quick hack?
I have been in the ABM dark funnel hell for probably 6 months. So we
Mm.
took on Demand Base, and they have something called Pipeline Predict, which is supposed to, and a qualification score. Both of these are supposed to measure your current pipeline and deals that have closed won and find you things that are very close to it. And then you send them display. We have gotten 0 out of them. We spent 25 grand, not one thing converted out of it. I think honestly that display, everybody turns it off in their brain to some extent, but you also just need to make sure that you're tight on your own ICP. LinkedIn and paid for me have gotten a lot closer to that core ICP than going after it with display. That's just my opinion.
hey, Rollworks, just going to tell you, Liz just gave you the blueprint to sell her. You know who she's using and what she doesn't like.
Sure,
about
sell
that.
me
So
Rollworks if you can
get on
fix
that.
that. No,
But here's what I'm looking at this. I think to Jurgen's point, I look at this as a quick hack. Has anybody ever tried to build target account lists with sales and how
oh
quickly
my
that
gosh.
goes?
I've done it 3
It's
times
one,
now.
not easy.
I know I keep on saying 3 times.
2, the strategic accounts are never strategic.
No.
Like I hear you on this, but again, the practical marketer, how this goes down is, hey, sales, pick some target accounts that are really, tier top notch, and they're not very strategic, honestly. And you're not doing this in a quick crunch if you're going to do it right.
Also, I mean, we could go down the ABM rabbit hole at some point, but you are much better off looking for buyer behavior and what people do before they buy versus creating a random cold account. I have multiple times tried to go at ABM, and you end up choosing 10 accounts that sales likes, marketing to them. They're not ready in your buyer's journey. Like, it's just a waste of time, but we can get there one day.
All right, where are we at? Hack 6.
This
Liz,
is me.
you.
Okay, send an automatic report to your outbound sales team every morning for any known contact that hits high value pages in the last day, like product overviews, customer stories, or even your pricing demo request page. Following up with personal messaging based on digital interest can yield wins. Oh, can I? Okay, I get to go first here. This is so fun. Okay, no, this, if they're on your site and they have not converted, they are not ready to talk to you. This will be a waste of time. This is just my experience. Jay, Jorgen?
Yeah. I don't fully like I get what they're saying, but like, okay, so I've done this is so 2010 stuff that we've all done. Ooh, check out the anonymous accounts on our list. And like, it's the old lead scoring methodology, right? Send them to the pricing page because they're going to MQL over and then they can reach out to sales. I just don't like, guys, like it's not 2010 anymore. Are we really talking about this stuff still?
Personal messaging off of having checked out a web page yesterday, right? Like, is this buyer centric? You know, like, is this even like, does anybody want this? Like, even if it worked, even if it wasn't an outdated tag, like, yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Wait, I have one more thing to add here. Your website is failing. This is a sign maybe your website is failing you. For me, I would spend the time that you're spending trying to put a campaign into action for people to talk to people who are very cold, and I would work on your website messaging, because if you are seeing the right people come to your website and they are not converting, they're not doing anything, and they're just ditching, your website's the problem, not your campaigns. All right, next.
The reason they're not converting is because you haven't implemented Hack 7 yet, which is you need to take advantage of this work from home stuff and start running air cover. And we all know what air cover means. It means display and banner ads. And I always say this the best way possible, which is transparently, I could not tell you one banner ad I've seen in the last 24 hours. That's what I feel about banner ads. You don't remember them. They don't honestly work. I'm just going to say
I have 0 ROI in display this year. 0. And we have multi-touch. Like, it ain't a lie. Especially in like industries where you're serving like developers or product or IT. We've all died for the banner.
Jay, that was so funny. That was so funny. Look, yeah, let's not beat the dead horse, right? It's just that's really tough, and I think the premise too, like I disagree with the premise. So the idea here is that because people are working from home, you should now run more display, and that's air cover. Like, if we're going to be practical and if we're going to be more constructive here, and I liked how you did that on the last one, Liz. If you're going to get something out there, get some real, proper, truly valuable content out there.
Yes.
You know, and use a different mechanism than an ad, right? Like, just get content out there, and we can talk about that separately, however you do that. But like, that's the thing if you want to do any kind of air cover in this work from home world. Next one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Jurgen, you're up. Go.
You're up.
8. We're already on 8, guys. We're getting close.
We're moving.
So, outline a package or pricing bundle that limits commitment. Consider a month-to-month package or 3-month Band-Aid, they even use the word Band-Aid, to get more deals without needing new customers to commit long-term in an uncertain time. All right, I will go first and say I do not remember the last time any of the sales teams that I served as a marketing leader lost a deal because of an annual contract. I don't remember when that happened last. It does happen, right? Like, it does happen. Some people want, like, I want to try it or whatever, to say, oh, okay, like, we're going to do a quick hack by shortening the length of contract. I just think that's a losing game altogether. Liz, what do you think?
So, I mean, I have a feeling about this, and it's not backed by any data.
Liz
It's
has
just
a
a feeling. It's a shitty feeling, probably. My estimation is that you would actually do better in some B2B companies if you offered like go to the page, purchase a license for a few months at a time, extend the trial, right? This is like a B2C concept, but I think actually in B2B, there would be use cases where this would actually make a big difference. Like, if, for example, in my business, we know that if they like analytics go into a product, they're going to keep it for 9 years. At some point, it may make sense for, a developer to come in, purchase on our website, not have to talk to sales ever, and after they've used it for a year, you turn it into an annual contract, right? You've already proven your value. I could see this one. This one isn't so far-fetched, but it is not backed by any of my personal experience. So
Yeah, I'm actually with Liz on this one. I get why people do it. I think my only caveat is I think a recurring theme, which is, are these actually buyer centric? To me, it's the same BS that salespeople pull, and no offense to salespeople, like, end of quarter, I can give you this deal, and what, November 1st, the deal goes away? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I just hate those type of sales tactics, but I get in a scenario where it can work to make it more lucrative at times in a crunch.
Yeah, and like they're saying not just length of contract, right? Which can be legitimate in some cases, but they're also saying pricing, and it's like, of course, play with that, right? But I think there is a nuance here is, are you talking about packaging this up, going to market through the marketing function to really push that as a hack? Or are you saying allow your sales team to be a little extra loose when you're trying to get these deals across the line? Either way, like, I don't see that moving it a lot for a lot of marketers.
Yeah.
Yep,
Let's see. I can see a go-to-market where it
Liz,
could
I think
work.
you're up 9. Let's go.
All right. Am I next? I think I'm next.
Yeah, go.
Drive us, or did I do the last one? I don't know. No, Jurgen did the last one. Okay. Drive a surge of MQLs by targeting leads close to hitting the MQ threshold. 5% away as a rule of thumb. Offer your most popular piece of content to push them over the edge and drive more sales conversations. So this is going to echo a lot of what I've said, and honestly, a lot of change that I've done in my past too. You don't want to force people to MQL. At that point, they're not going to be any more ready to talk to sales than if you waited for them. It just doesn't, to me, I wouldn't run this campaign because I don't think it would make a lot of sense. One, I believe in, content rigor. So all of your content should be really good. Two, if you're just trying to bait MQLs, like, these are people who, if they've downloaded enough content to be 5% away from your MQL, and not, like, they're aware of you, they're aware of your product, they just don't want it yet, and that's okay. Like, people take a long time for that to come to fruition, but adding another piece of content's not going to make them any more ready.
I've already talked about MQLs. I'll just, Jurgen, go ahead. My feelings are here.
Just coming from love, like, this is just dangerous, right? Like this to me is the most dangerous out of these hacks, because it suggests that marketers should play a game where you're, forcing people sort of like over the hump when they're not over the hump, right? It's like playing with the signals, and it's really, really what we as marketers should avoid as much as possible for our own credibility, to respect the value of the sales team, and to be focused on the shit that matters. So, like, not trying to diss too hard, but like, this one, I just have to say, is so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is treating them like an arbitrary number, and not like not thinking of prospects like humans and human behavior, right?
Yep.
And we all do that.
At times, we've all made a mistake like that, right? So it's not like, hey, we're holier than anybody else. It's just we have to collectively come together and say we shouldn't be doing this shit.
Yeah.
I think we should just do an episode on the MQL, because I'll give some stories.
Oh, I think we can all do stories about how we made the MQL useless. Hack 10. Oh, I love this one too. Okay, good.
Leverage personalization, right? Top tier accounts, again, use their logo, things like that. Like, cool, I get what they're saying, right? If you're going to run display ads and air covers, sure, have it personalized. I'll give them this one. I don't think it's a growth hack, though. I don't think it's going to move the needle for you. I've done these tests, and I have never noticed a meaningful lift in doing this. I've learned something. The personalization push is overdone. All that matters is relevance. Relevance is the number one way to improve your ad performance.
Yes. I mean, I believe in personalization to an extent, If you have a core market and you're doing a go to market in another market, some personalization of the landing page, of the ads, of course that makes sense. I mean, that should be like marketing 101, not just like baseline segmentation, right? So I give this to them, but it's not going to be something that turns in a pipeline in a month, right? When you go to market in a new market, it takes time to test and run, develop assets. Like, this is not going to be a quick hack that's going to turn into pipeline in, 4 weeks.
We need to raise the bar on what's meaningful personalization.
Yes.
Right? Like, I just don't think that the basic simple personalization that every marketer can do in their sleep by, a few keyword strokes, that actually matters, and it's just going to matter less and less. So it's not even a conversation for me. I will say this though, as a little bonus, the design and layout of this piece is pretty cool. They used the kids of work from home parents to add some design elements, and that's my favorite part of this piece.
So that is the most well executed part of this piece. Like, I love that touch. I gotta put some of that in my mind.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's great. Plus,
let's give them that. Rollworks.
I think
one other thing.
Like 3 that were approved. Like, I don't think it was all fluff.
But here, to me though, here's the most important thing. Like, this is not gonna make me like Rollworks any less. And if the person who wrote most of this stuff was in front of me, I would say, like, this is awesome. This actually stimulates debate, right? And that's what we're trying to do here too, is we're just trying to have conversations. Sometimes we're going to be a little feisty, a little salty, a little sour maybe even, and we're going to have some fun with that too. But like, the most important thing is that we get past all this pontificating and everything that's going on in our space and all over LinkedIn right now, and we just like have real conversations about what shit works and what doesn't. Like, that's it. So this is awesome that we got to have that as a jumping off point.
Is our next episode going to be our hacks to drive pipeline in a crunch? Like, maybe we should do
real hacks.
Real
shit. I'm not as
I have 0 hacks.